Hello, everybody. This is Bugsy. Oh, yeah, we gonna have this kind of conversation. Okay, as a guy who literally loves his friends dearly, I feel like I need to talk about this. I feel that I need to talk about this simply because, as a friend to RebelZilla, I feel the need to say what I need to say here. Now, Anon G wanted to do a kind of like video where he basically kind of like does it, goes at this a little softer. But his account can only go up to like like 15 minutes, and I literally said, "Hey, homie, you've done enough. Take five, man. I got this." But yeah, um, okay. Super Dragon Girl, we need to talk. And trust me, this is not a fucked up talk. I want to really just talk about my displeasure with what you did to my friend. A person I call a little brother because he kind of is. And he didn't deserve what you and your friends did to him. He really didn't. And I know you're gonna say we're coming after you or any of this other shit, but like the thing is, you hurt Rebel so bad. That man gets mad and sad at the same time, at the same integral, and that's fucked up because I've seen that shit. He has me in space, so it doesn't really escalate too bad. But at the same time, I want to just say the fact that you basically turned your back on him was the most fucked up thing you could do. You didn't like you made a thing saying you didn't understand why that happened. He felt betrayed. You literally said you guys were all in this together, and I was there. I was there for the Google chat thing. You literally said while I was trying to like talk to you myself in the group, you said you were all in this together. And then you just turned around and said, "Well, this is hard and difficult. You know, this is hard and difficult. And I don't think I can do it." Or you probably had anxiety. Ananji told me you probably have anxiety, and I'm starting to believe that maybe that's really what happened here. Although I did make my little, although I did like make my little fanfic Google Doc thing kind of known, which I thought was, which is still hilarious to me. Okay, it's still hilarious to me. I ain't gonna sit here and pretend like it isn't. But be that as it may, I we like when you said you ain't trying to choose sides. We're trying to make you choose sides. I thought, you know, I thought you were done. I thought you basically said, I'm done with Mac. I'm done with all this shit. But you kind of like went back on that either because of your own kind of fear, or just because you thought it was too hard, or you just want to be back over there out of convenience, or maybe some other shit happened that we don't know about. But either way, you turned your back. You turned your back on him. Rebel was proud to be a part of your series as Sonic. He loved that shit. That was his that was like his proudest moment, just being a part of your stuff because he cared about you that much. And I feel like you need to understand the people who do care about you and the people who just say it once and then get mad at you for a whole bunch of different things that you may have said. Because from all the stuff I've seen, it seems like you walk on eggshells whenever whenever you're like whenever you're hanging out with Mac. It's like always eggshells because you're always scared that you're gonna push a button that you can't unpush. Like he did all those streams on you. He did all those streams on you for your attention. And it's like the way I see it, you need to see it. The way I see it is that you basically you basically are put in a position every time he makes a post, or every time he made those freaking streams, that you were like this bad person. And it's like you didn't really do anything wrong. All you've been was his friend, and he's acting all weird on you. And it's like I but here's the thing I don't understand. He calls you all about it. He's called you all about your name. He's said very, very violent things. Very violent things they used to tell me that I remember. McInerney has said this to me. I shrugged it off as him just being a little angry. I shrugged it off. But, you know, but he said a lot of fuck things, man. And that was back when he didn't tell me the truth about what was really going on with you. Always making you look like you were the one always hurting him. And it's just, and I gotta ask, you're okay with that? You're okay with being in that position? Every time this motherfucker gets mad, every time he's willing to lose his shit on you, you're just willing to do it. And for all you McInerney fans out there, don't jump in this comment section. If you don't got anything useful to say, then don't say anything. Don't say, oh, you're wrong, false. Let me tell you something. Unlike, and I'm going to say this, unlike McInerney, I used to be called Wolf. Okay? And what I was about was helping people. Making sure the people who fucked with other people got what was coming. I am not a person that just does things to do them. I don't throw around accusations like a certain somebody whose initials start with K and P. I'm a dude who has always stood for helping people. Even though I did it in very destructive ways back in the day. But that was always my mission. That was always my mission statement. The fact that I feel that Rebel got really mistreated and you didn't understand why really just shows how you were either not even seeing what he was going through, because you really did betray him when you think about it. You were talking about, we're all in this together. We all got, everybody's saying we all got your back. I was saying I got your back, even though I was trying to do it with the mic. We all had you. But you literally just said, fuck us. Going back to Mac because that's comfortable, that's normal, and I don't need to worry about some shit. You hurt my friend. You hurt the person I call a brother. And I don't call people brother often. I actually have to know you enough for that to happen. And Miss Laurel, you totally screwed up there. You made my friend really just, he's not depressed, but he does have his little moments. But me and Space are there so he doesn't spiral. We're always going to be there for him. Fuck, I'll always be his shield if he needs me. Because I've been through so much different shit being a YouTuber and being who I am and who I was. I don't abandon people. And I damn sure don't make little posts going, you're gonna burn with the rest of us. Nah. Because if I got my displeasure with you, I'm gonna say it to you. And And if I'm that mad, I'm not gonna delete the thing. I'm gonna keep it up as a thing to tell you that yes, I was mad at that time. I don't back down. I don't give in. And I damn sure don't run like a. I don't run. The thing about you is, you run. You get scared, and everybody gets scared. You're not. You're not weak for getting scared. I feel like you're. I feel like you're lacking in strength because you. Yes, you are just scared of leaving for whatever reason. You're scared of actually connecting with other people because you're scared that like a something bad is really gonna happen to you, or you really think that something bad is gonna happen to other people, or you just want to not be a part of any of this. But the thing is, Miss Laurel, you're always gonna be a part of all of this because as long as you're a part of that group, people are gonna talk about you. People are going to draw comparisons. People are going to draw these certain conclusions to you and Mac because literally he always calls you out. You're always, not for nothing, you're always the one he calls out. You're always going to be a part of that spotlight. You're always going to be a part of this master narrative because you decide to be a part of all this. Whether you like it or not, that's the truth. You need to understand this. Okay? Like I know you guys really just be out here doing the Sonic shit. You don't understand the other side of YouTube. Y'all back away from it, cover your ears, and go la 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 la. But here's the thing. Mac has done things, has scarred people, has literally done these streams while people were trying to tell him to stop. Don't do it. All because he wanted your attention. Do you understand that that's probably just a tiny smidge kind of fucked up that Mac would put you on the spot like that every single time? And even though he's not streaming anymore, he basically posts every fucking few weeks or every fucking few months, depending on how angry he is, to you, and always says how he's gonna cut ties with you and do all this stuff to you and say all this stuff and say all this shit. Does that not ring alarm bells in your mind? Because that's my whole thing. What makes Mac this fucking safe harbor for you to the point where you're willing to take all of his bullshit? Maybe y'all have a secret thing, maybe y'all don't. But that's why people keep making that comparison, because no one would put up with that kind of shit unless you were a couple. That's why they keep drawing those comparisons. That's why I feel you need to understand as a person. You say you don't want to be a part of this, you're not in it, and I leave you out of it, and all this other stuff. But you need to understand, as long as you're associated with Mac, you are always going to be a part of that. You are always going to be a part of that. You just need to understand that. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not trying to come after you. I'm not trying to make a blackmail. No, because blackmail would actually inquire that I actually have something over on you to get what I want. But I'm not trying to get anything. Again, I'm talking. There's nothing out here. I'm not saying, ooh, do this. No. I'm talking to you as one person would to another person. That's what you need to understand. That's what you need to get in your head. And I'm sorry about the car crash thing that you probably went through and the PTSD you probably got from that. That's fucking rough. I had family members that kind of went through the same shit, and thank God they're okay. But you gotta understand too, you've been taking all these mental health mental health breaks, but you know what? Your crew, your posse, didn't give didn't give didn't give Rebel the same kind of liberty they give you. Calling him all out his name and still kind of do to this very day. Yeah, I see you, Ash. I fucking see you. Don't think I don't. I'm not gonna do anything, but but I see you. I know what you're doing. I know what you've been saying. The thing is, you need to like I'm saying, you don't need to make a decision now, but one day you're gonna have to. It's gonna be it's gonna be your mental state or being pals with Mac. And I ain't gonna tell you what's the right answer and what isn't, but you need to understand. You need to understand and make a decision at some point. You cannot put it off. You cannot you cannot go back on these things. You have to make a final decision. And whatever Mac does at this point, whatever he says to you, whatever hold he really has on you, you need to break it. This is my last and only video on you. You know, I leave the other stuff to Anon G, but I felt like I needed to say something because I feel that you don't really understand the gravity of what you actually did, and now you know. On that note, I'm gonna see you later. I got another video to prepare for in character, so I gotta go. But I feel like you need to understand. And if you do ever make this choice, if you ever decide to back away from McInerney, I want you to please make a video apologizing to RebelZilla. He may not accept your apology, but you need to show him that you are sorry. That's what I'm talking about. And if you think this is just a personal attack on you, or you think this is a personal attack on you or anybody, and this is not just a man stating his opinion because his friend is undoubtedly and irreversibly hurt, well, you're not really trying to listen to this video. You're just like, oh, I made a video on you. There's no blackmail. There's no nothing. It's just a guy with a Gurren-Lagann representation of himself trying to talk to you. Please listen. And if you don't want to listen, that's on you. I can't force you to watch this or listen. Just understand that this is here.